Libra, this is your January 2022 soul story, and this month you're trying to figure out if there's going to be a better way. The difference is that you're going to be bringing your own luck to the table, and that's going to make all the difference. This is Romy. Welcome to my channel. We are going to be giving you some astrological dates and breaking down some intuitive messages to help you to navigate your way through the next few weeks. We're opening up the energy of January with you, Libra, and the Six of Swords, the Six of Air here. You are distancing yourself from someone or something. In fact, January is one of these periods where your alertness and your acute awareness to what is dysfunctional and really no longer has a part to play in your pathway, in your journey, is going to be so clear for you. The discernment that comes from you in January really helps to set the tone, to put new standards in place, new boundaries in place for yourself. And honestly, the disrespect is the closure that you need. Your continued acceptance of anything that doesn't really vibrate with you anymore is going to feel so uncomfortable that it's not going to take long for you to really come to the right conclusion. Of course, we have a continued focus of your ruler Venus in her retrograde through the sign of Capricorn, and that journeying that you've been going through as the rebirth of Venus really helps you to readdress your own value consciousness, your relationship with money, to really look at conditional and unconditional love in your life. It's going to be a big one. And not only do we have Venus retrograde, we're also going to be welcoming Mercury retrograde, the first of this year, in Aquarius from the 14th of the month. It will then move into Capricorn, still retrograde on the 24th, right through to February the 3rd. So during this time of introspection and deep review, you really are having the opportunity for a lot of self-parenting. You know, we're working through fourth house for you and really wanting to understand what your heart is asking of you, needing to be honest, having to ask some of the tough questions, needing to address some of the uncomfortable situations as you figure out for yourself if there is a better way. And, you know, you're leaving behind the fox here. And for me, that's representative of anything that you can no longer trust, that no longer feels tolerant to your energy system. Now we've got the Nine of Earth, Nine of Pentacles coming in. Again, there's this sort of migratory quality to this. And, you know, you're leading the pack, you're out up in front here. There's this beautiful quality of you taking your rightful position in some area of your life as that authority, or having that voice, feeling strong enough to be able to assert and think about what it is that you need. You're really ready to bet on yourself. And Jupiter in Pisces, this beautiful transit that we're all going to be working with through May, really supportive of not only your continued spiritual awakening, but also new foundations that are getting put in place around your creativity and the artistry of being able to really make some of those dreams become a reality, because there's something deeply tangible about that Nine of Pentacles coming in. You know, the sky is crystal clear here, and, you know, you're being guided not only by the stars, but the northern lights here, which is a true phenomenon in itself. And, you know, this whole idea of you really making your own luck, putting yourself in the position where you know you're going to be able to align to and attract the right things to support what your decisions and your choices are, is going to make such a difference. You're going to have to, through the course of this month, Libra, really start to normalize the idea of being able to say no without having to explain or to apologize or to justify. As the leader of the pack there, you don't keep looking back to double check where everybody's at, because your focus is firmly on what's coming next. And so even in regards to immediate relationships for you, whether they be personally, professionally, romantically, there is this knowing that you have to kind of lead by example. And, you know, you're looking really at this point in time for safe relationships. You know, the words and the actions, and if they are marrying up with one another, again, are going to tell you everything that you need to know about another person or group of people. But in the same token, it means that you too have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I really showing up in an authentic and truthful way? Now, you've got the goddess of earth here, which is the King of Pentacles. I love this depiction because we're really merging together like almost like two different types of energy. And what comes from it is something deeply abundant. So you may be merging two different ideas. You may be coming together with somebody who's very different to you, that kind of adage of opposites attract, or really finding a way to fuse and blend something that previously has felt like unmanageable or just on paper like didn't look like it would work. But there's something about this energy of January that's really giving you the opportunity to keep reviewing, keep experimenting, keep drawing on your experience, because remember, the king energy is about that sense of mastery. Now, as an earth, this is something that is deeply tangible, and especially with that 9, it's about the realization of something that you have been working on, or the journey that you've taken in order to come to something. And what we're really wanting you to understand is that through the course of this month, being discerning is everything. You have to question the validity of things in your own personal experience, okay? And doing the research, putting everything on the table so that it's clearly in view, in plain sight for not only you but everybody else to look at is going to make a big difference. Now, of course, these retrograde energies can sometimes mean that things get misunderstood or misconstrued. And, you may yourself, again, have to be sort of almost going against the grain, like tapping into a rising sense of hope amidst what may feel or look like a heartbreak or a disappointment type of situation. But the thing with the 3 of Swords is it's so clarifying. And I've said this in all the soul stories this month. There's such a penetration of deep spiritual truth that's emerging that there's nowhere to hide. And that's important because it moves each and every one of us out of a sense of any kind of self-denial. And yes, that can hurt. And sometimes when we're trying to find a better way, it is uncomfortable, where we have to look at things, look at our behaviors, our actions, the stories we're aligning to, or to recognize that people or things are no longer right for us or going to work for us. And again, with that distancing energy, with that moving on energy, it may be that you're moving on from a relationship, an experience, a job, a part of your life that has come to a point of completion. I feel it's really important that you recognize that there's something about January where you mustn't be distracted, Libra, and it would be really easy to kind of get pulled back into something. Your environment is really going to be reflecting you through the course of January. So you're going to get a really clear heads up, especially through Capricorn energy up until the 19th, of exactly what's going on for you as you look around, your home environment, your work environment. And there's something here that, again, perhaps is clarifying with that 3 of Swords. There's a bit of a release energy as you come to terms or come into a place of acceptance about something. But here we have the energy of the Star. Now, this particular deck kind of flips on its head some of the major arcana. So typically number 5 would be the Hierophant, but in this deck, it's kind of giving us a pattern interruption, an opportunity to look at things in a new way, which is wonderful for January. So the Star comes in with this optimism, this sense of rejuvenation, with hope, with healing, very much that Jupiter and Pisces wave, that spiritual truth coming through, and it's perfectly poised with whatever the upset is, or whatever the challenge or the release that needs to take place. Here you are being able to take some solace, find some respite, and realign to things that are important and that matter to you. You're pulling those dreams out of your awareness, and you're making them real and tangible with this dense earth energy that's coming in. So you need to really pay attention to that so that you don't lose sight of what's here for you. Now, I guess I want to ask you, who or what is waiting for you, Libra? Because I have a sense of that going on. We've got a full moon coming in the sign of Cancer on the 17th of the month, okay? Shortly after, Uranus is stationing direct in Taurus. You have the 7 of Wands here, and I do feel that you're being challenged a little bit, perhaps because somebody's putting you under pressure slightly. What I'm going to say to you is don't be rushed But at the same time, don't hold back if you have got it clear in your mind and in your heart. Remember, as we come into Aquarius energy, it's 5th house for you. So it's all about that passion being reignited in your life. So if you know what you want, then don't hold back. But at the same token, take all the time you need to look at all of the options, okay? Because it may be that you unearth or uncover something that's going to need more negotiation or discussion, so that you're not just blindly moving into something. But I love the lion energy here surrounded by the roses, because there's so much heart and passion. It's a very vibrant, alive energy. And again, with all of the milk and honey kind of pouring down from that goddess of earth into this, it suggests to me that any challenges are met actually with quite an optimistic, courageous approach from you this month, which again I think is going to make a huge difference. Now, you're going to be requiring through January to be doing an awful lot of self-parenting, Libra, and perhaps addressing some of those relationships in your life, and really deciding how you want to allow them to dictate your experience moving through 2022. So here we've got the Empress, beautiful, generative, abundant energy, very empowering for you as well. Also deeply protective as I kind of really hone into that beautiful big brown bear here. Very fertile energy as well. But as we're talking about this inner parenting, really needing to mother yourself, especially in those areas of your life where perhaps you have felt or are feeling a lack of nourishment, that has to come from the self. And you really need to think about what you need to add into your life to be able to support that nourishment and that kind of an energy, so that you don't feel disempowered or you get caught up in that feeling of lack, because there is an undercurrent that's still permeating. And here's the thing, most of you that are tuning in, you're so spiritually awakened and continuing to move forward in that journey that transitioning to the new frequency is really the only option. We've still got a little bit of a bridge, and a foot in both camps, but more and more through the course of 22, you're going to be feeling into the new way of expressing yourself, how you're receiving and connecting to source, to your higher self in even more profound ways than ever before. And so it's going to feel more and more uncomfortable where there are people or situations that are projecting that old, low, dense vibe. And that's where the lack sits. That's where there's no nourishment or real sustenance for you. This is where you have to get clear about normalizing that okay? But remember that full moon in Cancer, 17th, Uranus stationing direct, might be a little bit challenging for you in some aspects. And again, as you're addressing this whole idea of conditional versus unconditional love, what it means to you. Your 2 of Fire, 2 of Wands talks about an important choice or decision in the planning of something, okay? We have the thistle coming through here, Scottish flower. So there's something that, we have that as the sort of national emblem. So, and that's filled with pride, there's something very noble and courageous about that. So the decision and choice that you are coming to is a noble one. It's the right one. It might not be the easy one, Libra, but I think for you, it's going to be the only way forward. The only way forward. Like I said, you have to let go and release some of that dysfunctional energy. Now, the 2 snakes entwining here also suggest to me that you really are shedding a skin. But there's also something about coming together or being bound, intrinsically linked with another or with something. And perhaps that's because you feel it's just part of your purpose. It's just, or maybe there's something very karmic. So depending on where it's emerging for you this month, whether it be in, relationship sense, or if it's something that you're working on or aspiring to do, there's going to be a deep feeling of just purpose that emanates from you. And it's just like you can't not follow that. And again, you're going to need to trust in the way in which spirit are guiding you, because some of it might feel a little bit uncomfortable as you have to either break new ground, even break some hearts. If you're having to make some really tough choices and decisions, sometimes we break our own heart as part of that spiritual awakening process that we go through, because when we have to come to terms or kind of really accept and move out of a sense of denial, then it can be a tough place. Now, Overall, the energy in January is very restless. There's an awful lot of this feeling of kind of nervousness and almost anxiousness if it's left untamed and unmanaged. Here you've got the Eight of Swords, and it really is just a bit of a nod to that. The thing we need to remember is that you can act as the ego here and fly high up above things to get a real clear view and actually what's happening, rather than feel like you're being caught up in the fray down below. Now, even the landscape at times might feel a bit inhospitable, and it's kind of like, I don't know how I can possibly navigate my way through this, around this, over this, even as you've come to this plan at, yes, I'm supposed to be with this person, doing this thing, making this choice. It is in and of itself likely to bring about some stress for you. However, the restlessness is also an indication, I want you to really keep this in mind for January, Libra, that you're coming into like something new, a new pathway, a new vibrational energy that's really got your back, it's guiding you. And as you align more deeply to what your heart is asking of you, as you're being more honest with yourself, as you understand that you will bring your own luck through this month. You know, when you align with something, when you bring all of the heart, all of the mastery, all of the intentionality, you are able to overcome the challenges, and you are receiving the healing that you need in order to bring something to fruition. So I feel really enlivened in terms of some of the guides that are showing up for you this month, and I just need you to trust in yourself first and foremost, and then trust in the way that you are being guided. Okay, so let's take a look at these oracle cards and how they want to join the conversation. You have a lot of birds in flight this month in your reading, which again suggests to me like you're finding your wings, you're moving on, but there's also a lot of messages that you have to deliver and that are being delivered to you. So lots of communication happening. Don't see things being quiet. So if that has also been an experience, even initially with that Six of Swords, there's a bit of distancing. As we move through the reading, there's a lot more opening up in terms of what's going to be taking place for you with regards to communication. Okay, we have Wings of Light, beautiful, even further validating that message, becoming something new. Isn't that beautiful? And as she's just moving, it's like this transitioning into the energy, isn't it? And the momentum is built. You absolutely are purposeful. You're direct. You're honest. You're taking that powerful leap, just like that wolf, right up ahead, like the swan in the Six of Swords. There's that heart defiance, like your lion. I really like this energy for you. Beautiful, Wings of Light. Okay, let's have a look at the astrology cards for this month. Mars shifts into Capricorn on the 24th, again giving us that drive and purposeful nature, the stamina and the endurance that we need to make our goals and, you know, make things really start to come to life in our world. Okay, you have 9th house, love this, exploration. Of course, 9th house ruled by Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, really pushing the boundaries, and then Jupiter in Pisces, so much growth and expansion available for us over the next few weeks and months. January is really going to nod its head to that, and you're going to start to feel into it. So when you pick up this restlessness, take it as the positive, reframe it. You know, don't interpret it as anxiety and stress and nervousness. Look at it as anticipation of all of the new things that are emerging and coming into your pathway to take you forward. You have this beautiful wheel here, almost like you're navigating, you're about to charter a new adventure out in the seas. And the 9th house is all about exploration, changing philosophy, you know, growing wisdom and understanding, and it's an incredibly optimistic placement. So you ought to feel optimistic about a lot of what is starting to show up and come in for you. But yes, there are some difficult choices that need to be made, because I want you to be tapped into things that feel unconditional, that feel limitless. So anything that is binding you, or anyone who is trying to be conditional in what they're offering by way of love, respect, money, time, it's just not going to vibe with you. Don't be distracted. Something needs to be planted for you in January, and it's really important. Now, this deck is called the Blindspot, okay? So each one of these sigils is about an area that you might not have a conscious awareness of, yeah? It's a blind spot. So it's like doing a bit of shadow work. Now, I'm going to be pulling the message for this and covering it in the extended reading, okay? But we've got number 40 for you. It's a really fascinating deck to work with. It absolutely packs a punch. And yeah, we'll cover off what that is about for you. And again, you know, it's just a way for you to be introspective during that retrograde energy, perhaps do some journaling around things that you haven't immediately consciously been aware of in your approach. Libra, this is a general reading, okay? So if you would like to think about a personal question that's maybe not come up in the main spread, what we're going to do is pull a couple of cards, again, cover those off in the extended reading. You can find the link for that in the description and the comment section underneath, okay? If you're new to the channel, we'll talk for 20 minutes extra or so, go into a little bit more detail and give you some more in-depth messages here. So just starting with that Six of Swords, bringing in the High Priestess. I love that energy showing up for you. Queen of Swords, your card here, beautiful. So Nine of Pentacles, the Fool. There is just quite an adventurous feel, a little bit unexpected vibe coming in. You can embrace that though. Don't feel trepidatious with it. You know, it's not a month that's really going to give you like the full picture of what this year can deliver. It's more about kind of finding your sea legs, looking at everything on the table and just really starting to get clear about what you still need to be discarding, what things you want to start working to bring in. Six of Swords, beautiful. Four of Wands. May even be some relocation or shifts and changes in environments for some of you, work life, home life. I think you're going to surprise a few people this month, Libra. Empress energy coming in with the Queen of Cups. Beautiful, nourishing, nurturing, healing. King of Cups, lovely. Quite a special connection showing up there. Maybe somebody that is already in your life or set to come in. We'll explore that a little bit further in the extended. Okay, just going to pull one more here. Beautiful. All right, Libra, thank you so much. I'm going to wish you beautiful blessings for the month ahead. If you'd like to join me for the extended, the link is in the description box, the comment section underneath. Be sure to check back in with this reading throughout the month and see how things unfold for you. Please do drop me a like and a comment. It supports my work if it has resonated with you. And I look forward to continuing this conversation if you are hopping onto the extended. All right, you take good care. Bye.